Peralta Community. I'm Rudy Besikof, very proud president of Laney College, and it is my great privilege, that's right, give it up for Laney. It is my great privilege to be the first to say welcome to the 2024-25 year, one that is full of passion, purpose, and possibilities. Before I hand things over, I just want to say a special thanks to our crew, of course, Alejandro and PeraltaTV up there, kind of leading the charge on the tech front. And then also definitely to our unsung heroes in custodial, food services, grounds, just making today possible behind the scenes. So without further ado, I will turn things over to our colleagues, Marla Leech and Chelsea Cohen.
Thank you. 1, 2, 3. Good morning, Peralta.
How are you all doing today? Good. Did you capture that on Zoom? Zoom, do you hear us? Lots of enthusiasm in this room.
Okay, great. Want to make sure the Zoom folks can hear us, and we are on Zoom at the same time here. So we've been busily working, putting this together for you all. And we want to celebrate, of course, Fall 2024. So welcome, everybody, to Fall 2024. So again, welcome.
In the spirit of our keynote theme, which is artificial intelligence, we had ChatGPT craft up some bios for each other. So I would like to introduce Marla, and I prompted it to be cheeky. Okay. This is my colleague, Marla Leech. She teaches media at Laney Community College, where she moonlights as the professional development coordinator for Peralta District. When she's not navigating the academic seas, she's paddling through them, literally, on a dragon boat, or braving the chilly bay waters. You might also catch her belting out tunes with the Oakland Gay Men's Chorus, proving she's as versatile as her syllabi.
Thank you, ChatGPT. Now I'd like to introduce my colleague, Tina Fey. Oh, wait, I mean Chelsea Cohen. Chelsea Cohen is an ESOL champ at Laney College and doubles as the professional development co-coordinator. When she's not unraveling the mysteries of English for her students, she's wrangling her 2-year-old Jonah, perfecting her downward dog, or taking a refreshing dip in the nearest lake. Balancing work, play, and a toddler, piece of cake.
Not bad. All right, so we've been having a little too much fun with AI, writing schedules, sending emails, that kind of thing. In our panel today, they'll be talking more about artificial intelligence, where are we now, recent developments, considerations, policies, a little snapshot of what comes afterwards. We'll have our lovely chancellor talk about her vision for the year. What else do we have? We will be serving up some Filipino barbecue at the bistro from Thank You Grill, some chair massages, very important. Relax before we begin. There's also going to be a gallery walk on how to integrate current global issues into curriculum, which has been set up by a team of Peralta educators that will also lead into a panel in the afternoon. So we encourage you to check that out.
Excellent. So after lunch, and again, reminder that lunch is in the bistro, so if you don't know how to get to the bistro, you can ask one of us, or you can ask anybody who works at Laney, but it's not in the cafeteria where we did it last time. So it's actually down by the water. So if you don't know how to get there, just make sure you check in with somebody. Also, after lunch, we're having big discipline meetings that cover all 4 campuses. If for some reason you can't get into your schedule on your phone, we actually printed out 2 sheets, and they're over at the table where you registered, and you can just take a quick snapshot about which classroom you need to be in, which will be right after lunch. Okay?
Can I just add that there are also folders for the managers on that table as well.
Excellent. And after that, we have several enticing workshops for you on AI, historically black colleges, investing, getting to know the Peralta Citizen Editor-in-Chief, and a continuation of the gallery walk into a workshop panel on how to incorporate current global issues into your curriculum. Of course, we have our PFT meeting at the end with our awesome PFT leadership. That will be at the Best Center. And again, if you don't know how to go to the Best Center, just ask one of us. It's over there on the street. Now that brings me to our next presenter. It's hard to find. I just ask us. Now that brings me to our next presenter, Jeff Sanceri, president of PFT. And Chat GPT helped me with an introduction. Jeff Sanceri is our sharp-witted PFT president who moonlights as a history professor at COA. When he's not teeing off on the golf course or tossing a frisbee on the green, he's serving up clever commentary on all things Peralta and beyond. Whether it's a historical debate or a union negotiation, Jeff's always got the perfect quip at the ready. Monsieur.
Hey. That was way nicer than I would have been to me. I want to say good morning to everybody. Say good morning back now. Say it just again, please, because... What? Damn, all right, good job. Well done. All right, I want to say good morning once again, and thank you, of course, to Chelsea and Marla for putting together an excellent Flex Day. And thank you in advance for all the visible and invisible labor that's going to make this day possible. My name is Jeff Sanceri, and I'm a history instructor at College of Alameda and president of the Peralta Federation of Teachers. We are a union that represents over 1,000 faculty members, instructors, counselors, nurses, librarians, and mental health specialists. I'd like to start, of course, with a hearty welcome back, and I hope that the summer afforded you time to rest, travel, and time to reconnect with loved ones that you weren't able to see over the past year and a half. I, for my part, watched the Olympics and really got into House of Dragons. TV's been super good lately, and I also went to the beach once. Anyways, PFT was busy through much of the summer adjusting to new district leadership and resolving outstanding individual issues between faculty and administration. Basic things like timely payment or access to classrooms so we can teach. We also received the verdict in our favor from the first arbitration case that PFT has filed since ever. But instead of dwelling on that here, I can say that the leadership of the district is different now, and as I've said many times before, I've been encouraged by the open dialogue and transparency that our district office seems to value, and I'd be lying if I said I wasn't even a little optimistic about the future, which, if you know what I've seen, might sound bonkers. Yes, there you go. Clapping. Yes. Should we continue in this direction, I think that we'll all benefit from partnership that strengthens us and allows us to confront the challenges faced by our colleges, faculty, staff, and our students. Of course, faculty, as we move closer to the expiration of our contract in July, I hope that we can all work together to generate more discussion around issues that concern us, like healthcare improvements. So, no sick people here? All right. Or how we get paid for extra work in a week. Yep. Or raising faculty wages up from near the bottom, especially relative to the cost of living where we're living right now. Am I right? You're darn right. And in that, I would encourage faculty to attend the PFT General Membership Meeting today, later this afternoon, where we'll have a frank discussion about what our priorities are going to be, your priorities are going to be, and how we're going to approach this year. Faculty are the PFT, so your input really does matter. We'll be at the Best Center at 4:30 today, and after that, I invite all of you to pop out to Mad Oak, where I suspect no small number of us will be enjoying one another's company at day's end. And of course, everyone in Zoom right now can be jealous. All right. And now I'd like to introduce our District Academic Senate President, Matthew Goldstein, Professor of Humanities at College of Alameda, and third alternate on the U.S. Olympic breakdancing team.
It's funny that Jeff says that because I've been working on my little paw from down under bit that Raygun pioneered. Maybe you followed that. So I'll be breaking that out at Mad Oak this evening. Thanks, Professor Sanceri, President Sanceri. Thanks for coming this morning, folks, and no thanks to the folks who used the see-through podium here because I can't do my usual nervous tick of doing this as I'm able to do it at board meetings. So you'll see me shuffling my feet uncomfortably as I speak here. But thanks to the PD folks for putting today's event together. And again, thanks for coming, and thanks to President Sanceri for the introduction. For the record, no AI was used in the production of today's remarks. And you'll see in a few minutes that no genuine intelligence of any kind went into the generation of today's remarks. So I'm Matthew Goldstein. I'm the president of the District Academic Senate. The Academic Senate, as folks I hope know by now, has responsibility for the so-called 10+1. These are the academic and professional matters that are laid out under what was once called AB 1725 that passed maybe 30 years ago, 30 plus years ago. These are in Title V. This gives faculty authority to make decisions or make recommendations about decisions on matters related to the profession of teaching and the academy generally. We're reminded of our responsibilities with this card right here that I'd be happy to distribute to any faculty members. This one comes courtesy of Laney Senate President Leslie Blakey, who's here today, and I've sported this before at past meetings. Thank you. This is the old Carolyn Van Putten stunt to pull out the card and remind you of your professional responsibilities. And professional development, by the way, is number 8 on your card. So again, 10+1 equals 11. The 8th of those responsibilities is professional development, which we're here to attend to today. So there's a well-known Raymond Carver poem called His Bathrobe Pocket Stuffed with Notes, and it's a fun little ditty where he basically rattles off a bunch of funny lines that don't have poems around them to support them. So that's sort of the spirit of my remarks today. It's a bathrobe that has pockets filled with random notes. So let me just make a few random notes. Among the concerns that the Academic Senate has had over the last year or so is the redesign of the PBIM, that is the Planning and Budgeting Integration Model. And I know this sounds like kind of deep inside baseball to a lot of folks, but it's really important. It's the guidelines that allow us to do shared or participatory governance in an intelligent and informed way. Over the last year or so, we've been making some major revisions, including a retreat we had in March where faculty and staff and administration and students got together to think about our approach to shared decision making. We'll have a follow-up retreat on this matter on Friday, August 30th. I'm sure Chancellor Gilkerson will talk about that in a couple of hours this morning. But again, that's Friday, August 30th at 11:30 in the district office, and that will be kind of a revisiting of the PBIM rethinking. And we've made some real progress in that in the last several months, including a new draft of the manual that will cover our work in the shared governance bodies around the district. Let me just say that, as I alluded to earlier, we know AI is the theme of today's Professional Development Day in certain ways. The District Academic Senate has put up a set of resources around AI on its website. The URL is too complicated for me to try to read out to you here, but if you Google DAS Peralta Academic Integrity, you'll be brought to an archive of AI-related resources, and they're very useful, you'll find. And topping that list is a nice set of recommendations from BCC professor Dr. Timothy Rose. Avail yourself of that and parallel useful items in the archive. A couple of things I want to call your attention to for the coming months. Note that the consequences of AB 1111, that's the Common Course Numbering Initiative, and SB 928, which is about CalGETC, will be felt pretty keenly on the campuses soon. So please keep your eyes peeled, faculty and staff, for resources related to those two enormous undertakings, as I've said elsewhere. That's a lot of work, and DAS is very hopeful that the resources for that work will flow to the campuses and that faculty and staff will be adequately supported in doing that work, and that they'll be able to do that work within their regular 40-hour-a-week work weeks, and we'll be working with PFT to try to figure out how best to make that happen. Finally, let me just invite folks to the DAS meetings, which will begin formally on September 17th. They're first and third Tuesdays from 2:30 to 4:30 in the district boardroom. They're also accessible via Zoom, of course, but we have to have a live in-person quorum to have an official meeting because we are a Brown Act body. So please make an effort to join us and join your local senates, and do get active with the Senate and the union at your local campuses. Thanks very much. Sorry to race through these scattered notes. I now have the great pleasure of introducing your Laney Classified Senate President, Ms. Hope Lane. Hope, please come to the podium. Give it up for Hope. Thanks very much.
Good morning. Did you guys hear me? Is that good? Good morning, everyone. First, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Hope Lane. I am the Classified Senate President, and I am the Executive Assistant to the Vice President of Student Services here at Laney College. And I would like to welcome Chancellor Gilkerson, the Presidents, Melanie Dixon, Denise Richardson, David Johnson, and our Laney College President, Rudy Besikof, Vice Presidents, and our management teams. I would also like to acknowledge our Classified Senate President, Tom Rizza from BCC. I don't know if he's here or not. Siobhan Herbert from COA. She here. Marisol Roque Chavez from Merritt College. And Brandy Howard from the District Service Center. Let's give it up for the classified professionals at the District Service Center. They have swag. I've been looking at their swag that they've been slowly but surely getting, and I'm really happy that they can feel a part, because I know they seem always like they're left out and don't have swag or don't get to participate. So I want to thank them for showing up and showing out when they do come. Also, a hearty welcome back to our faculty. Welcome back to our faculty. Oh my God, come on y'all. And all the classified professionals who are here and on Zoom, give yourself a big hand clap. I also want to thank classified professionals for their hard work ensuring students' needs are served as we speak. Often referred to as high peak time for those working in A&R, the Welcome Center, counseling, financial aid, and the cashier and business offices. I would also like to encourage everyone here to take time over the next 2 weeks to check in on these areas. Take them some donuts, coffees, because they often don't get to leave their areas. So check in on them and just give them some support. Classified professionals held 2 district-wide professional development events. In March at COA, we had our first Flex Day, first district-wide Flex Day, and in July, we had our classified symposia at Merritt College. Both events had well over 150 attendees. In addition, you know, I understand what you're saying, Matt, about the foot with the clear one. Other professional development opportunities classified professionals were able to take advantage of. There were some that included attendance at the statewide conferences, Classified Leadership Institute, which happens every June. I encourage all classified professionals to take part in this or get in touch with me. I can give you information about this. This is a great conference. Jamil Tier, she was sworn in as the Region 8 State Representative for the California Community College Classified Senate. Angela Kimball and myself attended LIFT, Leadership Institute for Tomorrow in Fullerton. We attended that last week, and that's another great conference. A&R staff, they attended trainings. And I know the Basic Needs Centers, they have been attending conferences throughout this last year. I know they attended one at BCC this past week. We also, while doing our jobs, we also earned doctorate, master's, bachelor degrees, AAs, promotions. I want to give you guys a shout out for that because we're doing all of this while we're doing our job, serving our students while enduring the offices that may be too hot, too cold, or other conditions. We show up semester after semester and give our all to ensure students' needs are met. And I want to close with this. As we arrive on our campuses on Monday, whether in person or remote, let's remember passion, purpose, possibilities, and continue to make Peralta the best community college district in the state. And I would also like to thank Terrence Fisher. Thank you for your words of wisdom. You know what I'm talking about, and a special thank you to Alejandro Acosta.